With council meetings, workshops, and discussions with city staff, Darrell Davis has learned that, although extremely fulfilling, being a council member for Ward 3 can also be very time-consuming.
I've had to learn how to really balance my life even more now. I have a full-time job at the base, and then I have a wife. So I'm trying to juggle all three of those things, balance it, to make sure I give each one the amount of time they need.
That's why you'll find him and his wife Marty spending an evening at the UCO Jazz Lab on the first Friday of every month.
One thing I make sure that we do is our date night.
It's fun because we get to go in there, we have our favorite table and everybody knows where we sit. And we sit there and we just relax, we eat our pizza and listen to the music.
Before there were council meetings, before there were date nights, even before marriage, Councilman Davis spent his childhood and teen years in Cincinnati, Ohio. He later attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and graduated with a degree in business administration and management.
And then I moved out here to work in a family business that was supporting some contracts out at Tinker Air Force Base.
When his friend and roommate suggested that he come to work with him at a small collection agency, Darrell filled out an application and took it to the business. It was a trip that changed his life forever. While standing at the front desk, a young lady sitting in the back area caught his eye. He told his friend about the mystery woman.
And I said, wow, she is beautiful. And the guy said, well, hey, I can put you in contact with her.
And I get this note, this guy wants to meet you. And I was like, okay. So, call him. No, I'm not going to call this guy. He can call me. And he called and, we had some phone conversations and then we had a date and we had another date. And it was interesting because, we hit it off.
Not long afterwards, Darrell and Marty were exchanging wedding vows, and all because Darrell happened to apply at a job and wanted to learn more about the mystery woman working there.
And then it wasn't until sometime after we got married and things of that nature and told her, you weren't the woman I saw in the back of the room.
Darrell was eventually able to take a position with Tinker Air Force Base in 1985 and worked there ever since. Today, he is a contract negotiator for Tinker, and he also teaches communication and contracting courses for Southeastern Oklahoma State University. He and Marty raised 3 children, all of whom graduated from Edmond Santa Fe High School. Because Marty came from a musical background, there was a strong emphasis on each child playing a musical instrument in the Davis home.
The rule of the house was you learn piano plus 1 additional instrument.
Darrell's oldest daughter, Asia, played piano and organ. She also performed in many drama productions.
I would call her the actress of the family.
The second child, Debrion, played piano and clarinet. Talon, the youngest Davis child, played piano and string bass.
I play actually piano, the organ, trumpet, cornet, bassoon, clarinet, and flute, and the oboe.
Basically, the whole family except me is musical. I was the roadie. When they performed throughout the state, I was the roadie. I was the one in the back wearing black, getting in the water, changing the music.
But being around talented musicians can be contagious.
He actually taught himself how to play the guitar on his own. I never, ever interfered, and he's actually wonderful with it.
Darrell also enjoys spending time outside. You may see him playing golf, flying kites, fishing at Arcadia Lake, or riding his bike in Edmond.
And that's one of the things I like about Edmond, that you have those abilities, those areas to go to here that you can go. If you want to ride your bike, you can. If you want to go fish, you can. We still have the open air. If I want to go fly my kite, I don't have to fly it in my yard. I can actually go up to one of the bigger parks.
In 1995, when a new business development was coming close to his neighborhood, Darrell became heavily involved in learning more about the project. At that time, Charles Lamb was the council member for his ward. Darrell talked with Charles many times about the project and asked many questions.
If he sees something that he knows that can be changed, or if it can be developed some way or somehow, he doesn't let it go. This is the man that puts Post-it notes on a mirror in the bathroom because he doesn't want to forget about it. So he is always thinking about something, and he doesn't forget about it.
Darrell's interest on the project made a lasting impression on Charles Lamb.
One day he called me up and said, "Darrell, we have a position on the park board. Would you be interested?" I said, "Sure." Didn't know what a park board did or anything like that, but went on there and loved every minute of my 15 years that I was on it.
We take action here and make recommendations to the City Council, and they usually take ours.
The Parks Board is made up of 10 members and meets every third Thursday of the month at the Multi-Activity Center in Mitch Park. Darrell served on the board for 15 years, 9 of those years as the chairperson. Dennis Shockley, the current chairperson for the Parks Board, worked with Darrell and saw how Darrell conducted the meetings.
Level-headed, always seeking everybody's input on the board. It's a 10-person board. It's a rather large board. I always conducted the meetings with grace and aplomb.
While Darrell served on the Parks Board, he witnessed many projects begin as a discussion item in a meeting that would eventually become a reality in the community.
The development of the MAC, the things that we're doing out at Lake Arcadia, the enhancements that we're doing on the Bickham Ruckman Park.
The improvements to the Hafer ball fields, including the new concession stand and restrooms, were sorely needed, and that got done during Darrell's tenure.
We were able to grow and provide more opportunities for people to get outside.
In September of 2011, a significant change in the City Council provided another opportunity for Darrell to serve his community in a very impactful way. The mayor at the time, Patrice Douglas, decided to accept a position with the State Corporation Commission and resign as mayor. The remaining members of the City Council appointed Charles Lamb as her replacement. To fill the vacant Ward 3 seat, the council asked for applications from qualified residents. Darrell was very interested in applying, but he understood the consequences of sitting on the council too.
And I talked it over with my wife, talked it over with my job, because I knew there's going to be some times I'm going to have to leave to come out here to support the city.
He was apprehensive at first, and his concerns were, well, time. And, you know, we all told him, you know, as a family, Dad, you can do this.
On the evening of November 14, 2011, the City Council selected Darrell to fill the Ward 3 position. At the time, Darrell was in Texas attending his youngest son's master's recital. When he returned to the hotel, he was able to check the internet and learn the news.
I just said, wow. It was exciting. In the family, we just had a small celebration in Texas that evening.
2 weeks later, with Marty at his side, Darrell was sworn in as Ward 3's newest council member. Since then, Darrell has loved every minute serving on the council and making decisions to improve the city.
When you're sitting up there on the council, you're representing your ward, but you're representing the city there. And you want to make sure that you have all the information you need to make the proper decisions. And so when we receive our packets with the information, what's going to be on the council, there is a certain level of research that I have to do to make sure that I am comfortable with the decisions I'm going to make on the council.
He continuously tries to make sure that he knows what the situation is, what the people are asking for. He wants to know where it is, how it's going to affect the city, how it's going to affect people in general. He's a researcher, so he'll go and he'll check it out, and then he'll come back and he makes notes, and then he'll go again. He'll even do things different times of the day because he wants to know, how is this going to impact Edmond? Will this be an advantage to Edmond? Is this going to help us as a city grow? The council has given him the opportunity to work in the areas where that he's really interested in.
It was just a natural fit for me. My personality, I like getting out, meeting people, things of that nature. And now working with Edmond is just beautiful to drive around town and see some of the things that we were a part of. And the kids, when they come home, I said, well, your dad had something to do with that. And they sit back and say, wow.